From our studio in our office at the corner of 8th and Walton in Bentonville, Arkansas, welcome to Saturday Morning Meeting. Brought to you in part by Dun & Bradstreet, Credibility Corp., the leading provider of credit and credibility solutions for businesses. Saturday Morning Meeting covers Walmart, Sam's Club, and the consumer product companies that are represented on the racks and shelves throughout the country and around the world. Our focus is on the insights, trends, and best practices to help you as a supplier grow your business with the world's largest retailer. I'm Andy Shook, and thank you for joining us. Today we'll meet Jeff Amerine as he continues his series on helping suppliers in swimming in a sea of data. And later we'll talk with Christopher Sommer of Henkel about trends and insights having a significant influence on Dial products. But first, the headlines. Competition is heating up in the grocery delivery business. The Street reports that startups, traditional grocers, big box retailers, and even tech companies are all investigating ways to enter this growing market. Walmart is already testing home grocery delivery service, taking its cues from its Asda stores in the UK, which have been delivering groceries for years. Walmart spokesperson Ravi Jariwala explains that Asda grocery delivery trucks are designed with special compartments for frozen and refrigerated foods, which helps ensure quality and allows chocolate ice cream to arrive at your door frozen solid and chocolate milk perfectly chilled. Walmart's expansion of smaller footprint stores may be headed for a few hiccups, according to Supermarket News. The publication reports that Walmart Neighborhood Market grocery stores have lost market share in over 1/3 of the chain's top markets. The article refers to a report issued by BMO Capital, which states that Walmart Neighborhood Markets aren't performing as well as expected against traditional grocery stores and may be cannibalizing sales at Walmart supercenters. Seaway News reports that Walmart Canada purchased Supply Chain Management, a logistics center based in Cornwall, Ontario. Prior to the purchase, Walmart Canada was Supply Chain Management's only customer, and the two companies have worked together for over 2 decades. A Walmart spokesperson remarked that workers will be included in Walmart's employee benefit plan and that none of them will lose their jobs. Economists report some concern about retail sales in the U.S., noting that while there have been some modest increases, growth remains slow and reflects a still difficult economy. USA Today reports that retail sales increased by just 0.2% in June, with one analyst noting that low salary increases can't support additional spending on consumer goods. Walmart has long touted its sustainability efforts here in the U.S., but now there is some good news on the environmental front, and it's coming from Asia. InsideRetail.Asia reports on several projects in India, China, and Japan that have reduced waste through recycling, charitable partnerships, or technology. Here's one great example of how ingenuity can reduce waste. Now, this was developed by Walmart China. Instead of using plastic wrap to secure goods to warehouse pallets, workers now use reusable canvas belts. Now, so far, this change has eliminated the waste of 750 tons of plastic wrap. This week, Jeff Amerine, director of University of Arkansas Technology Ventures, talks with Clint Lazenby of #OnShelf. Now, they'll tread through some of the big data questions apparent in the retail industry in swimming in a sea of data.
So today we're here with Clint Lazenby of #OnShelf, formerly of ConAgra, a real retail and data expert, a lot of experience in consumer packaged goods. Clint, thanks a lot for coming today.
Jeff, it's great to be here. I really appreciate the opportunity to be on the show.
How about telling us a little bit about your history and all that you've done within sort of retail and CPG?
Sure. I'd have to say I've got a little bit of a charmed background. I've been in the Walmart supplier community for the past 16 years, working predominantly with Walmart. I've had the opportunity both to work with some great blue chip companies, also with some great people in the community. That has transpired to allow me to work across most of the cross-functional segments that you'd see on a supplier team, whether that's sales, of course, sure, insights and analytics, supply chain, and most recently in international.
Fair amount of time as a quant jock, though, right?
Absolutely, a tremendous amount of time.
Why is that important? Why is that quantitative experience and that data piece so important? How's that informed your career and help you be successful?
Well, I think at the bottom line, Jeff, when you look at retail, it's really the beginning of big data in many ways. And so Walmart being at the forefront of that trend, you really had to understand how to decipher data, transform that into information, and that's how you built the business many years ago and even today, I think.
Yeah, it's not just about gut instinct and judgment. It really is what the numbers tell you.
That's
really
absolutely correct.
Making. Well, let's get into some of this, because there's a lot of questions around how to use data as competitive advantage and how to get into some of this. And some of those questions revolve around the kind of platforms or technology that you can select to solve some of these problems. What would you recommend? You go with a third-party platform provider in the area of data analysis? Do you build your own? What's your experience been?
Jeff, I think as usual, the answer is it depends. For most companies, though, I would say my bias would be towards buying a solution. I think when you look at the amount of information that's available today, the level of complexity in terms of spinning that data up on your own, and the way that many of the retailer systems change over time, working with a team that does that, brings professional data management to the forefront, really provides you to leverage your budget to spend time creating insights, creating things that really drive the business with the retailer. And that's, at the end of the day, I think what we're all here to do.
I got it. And you've had experience with both custom solutions and also using third-party platforms?
Early in my career, I spent a lot of time figuring out how to go from spreadsheets to Paradox to Access, etc.
Became a macro wizard, I would imagine.
Absolutely. And then really was on the forefront of helping to create one of the first data warehousing companies that focused on providing solutions for the supplier community.
Got it. No, very cool. And there's an awful lot of jargon, and that term big data gets really overused. What does all that really mean? How can we demystify some of that so people really understand what we're talking about?
Well, there's been a lot of people who have made a cut at demystifying that, Jeff, as you know, and I hope that today you were going to be able to provide an answer around that. Having said
Sorry
that,
to disappoint. You're just going to have to give it your best shot.
So having said that, to try to add a little bit of value to that, the way that I would look at it with retail is I try to differentiate the fact that retailers have a tremendous amount of information, more than most of us in the FMCG world, by the sheer nature of they're the last mile with the consumer. So we really try, I think, to spend our time, or at least I try to think about how I can spend my time focused on that information that I can collaborate with and I can drive results. I think about that generally speaking in terms of either growing the pie, which is more of a category management type of exercise, whether that's a sales exercise of selling another case of goods where both the retailer and ourselves win, or improving our efficacy together, improving our productivity.
So ultimately, it really understands that driving sales, make sure you got the right product in the right place, right time. Is that kind of what it amounts to? Data is just a tool that allows you to do that, right?
That's correct. The right product at the right place at the right time. I think that's familiar.
That's oversimplified, right?
Absolutely.
Oversimplified, but that's clearly it. And then, the other big part of this is there's this huge interest in STEM and in critical decision-making and growing talent. How do you grow the talent that has the ability to use these tools in a way where they can be effective within retail and consumer packaged goods?
I think that's an area of transition right now, Jeff. In the past, we have been in a world where we've generally been a profile of salespeople, or we've been a profile of supply chain people, what have you, but coming from that sort of a discipline. And I think as we kind of look at how this market is changing, how the tools are changing, how the cost of analytics has come down, and the myriad of options for analytics, I think we have to start thinking about, do we have the right profile of people on our teams? Do we need more data scientists? Do we need more statistician or mathematically minded people who can bring an entirely different perspective, who can look at data in a way that we haven't seen it? I think when you look at many of the tools that are out there today, be it weather, be it what's going on in Silicon Valley, are we really leveraging that in the FMCG world to drive our businesses?
Sure, got it. No, I mean, that's great. So the actuarial thing is a big piece of it, no doubt about it. What's your crystal ball look like? What's coming next in this area? We've got this huge sea of data, and there's an element of confusion. What's your crystal ball look like? What happens with business intelligence and all these other pieces going forward?
I think we've come light years from obviously where we were, the description that I gave earlier. What I think is interesting is that today are the right solutions there to provide answers to very specific questions. Today we have lots of broad reporting, we have really interesting dashboards, we can click and we can do these things. But are we doing some of the really interesting things to say, we've got a new item pattern recognition program and methodology that predicts what stores this item should be in based on a limited time and geographical selection.
And that would make product launches more effective.
More effective for the retailer, make it more effective for us on the supplier community, and certainly increase the productivity on the shelf.
And rather than this sort of latency of waiting for the answer, you'd have some real-time visibility into how things are performing, so you know how to correct.
Absolutely.
Really fantastic. Fantastic insights. I mean, I really appreciate your spending time with us today, and thank you. It's just really super. Be sure to watch Swimming in a Sea of Data next week, and we'll be fortunate enough to have another real digital savant, Dr. John James, the CEO of Acme Brands. Stay tuned to the rest of Saturday Morning Meeting. It will continue shortly.
GigWalk is an on-demand mobile workforce that can collect data and do work at retail. Businesses use GigWalk for retail audits, merchandising, and much more. With 350,000 smartphone-enabled workers available on demand, you get unprecedented speed and coverage across the U.S., Canada, and the UK. And all work is reviewed for quality and accuracy. Visit gigwalk.com to learn more.
Hi, I'm Missy and I love ribs. Here's how I eat them. First, you make sure the ribs are covered in barbecue sauce because that's the best part. No. Whoa, let's dig in. Good, they're really good. My hands are sticky.
Wet-Nap Hands, Face, and Body Cleansing Wipes are gentle enough for faces and leave skin feeling fresh and soft.
All done.
The original Wet-Nap. Live life, have fun, get messy.
Only at Walmart. Bentonville Commerce, less than 1 mile from the Walmart home office. You'll love the convenience, amenities, and customized options Bentonville Commerce offers. For more information or a tour, call 479-200-1112 today.
Experience the ultra hydration of coconut water and wrap your skin in hydration with Dial Coconut Water Body Wash. For incredibly hydrated skin, people will notice. Also try new Dial Coconut Water Refreshing Mango Body Wash.
You know, the biggest challenge of working with Walmart is they really expect everyone on the team to know their language, know their terminology, and know exactly how they do business. So that's where 8th and Walton really comes into play. You know, it's the fastest way to get my team members up to speed.
Their business model is suppliers teaching suppliers. So when you come to 8th and Walton, you can count on having very experienced trainers who understand how suppliers work within Walmart, and they take advantage of that and incorporate that into their curriculum.
Today we're here with Christopher Sommer of Henkel. Chris will share what it's like to work with a leading brand and how Dial is effectively using its market research. Welcome back, and joining us today is Christopher Sommer of Henkel, here to give us some insight on how to maintain a leading brand and creating products for current trends. So tell us a little bit about yourself. What do you actually do at Henkel?
So I'm Vice President of Sales for the Beauty Care Division of Henkel North America at the Walmart account. And been with the company for about 14 years.
Okay.
Background is more management consulting, moved into Henkel and consumer goods the last 14 years, have loved it, and done a variety of roles, and now I'm moving here to Arkansas.
Moving here to, from?
From Arizona.
Arizona.
I'm an Arizona native.
So from AZ to, well, it says AK, well, yeah, I know, but everybody puts AK in there. They do it by accident. But yeah, it is AR, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm a big Wildcat fan from the other U of A, hoping to become a transplant fan with the Arkansas Razorbacks.
Great, great. So Henkel, how many different divisions do they have here that call on Walmart?
So Henkel actually has 3 main business competencies. We have industrial adhesives on the commercial side or the retail side with Walmart. That's a smaller business with Loctite and the glues.
Okay.
But then we have laundry and home care, and so the major brands people might know would be Purex, Renews It, Combat, and then we have a beauty care division, and that's where I come into play.
Okay.
And that's with well-known brands like Dial, Got to Be, Right Guard deodorant.
Okay, and what were you doing before you came into this role?
So my past life was in management consulting, but when I came into Dial at the time, Henkel bought Dial in 2004. So,
oh, really?
Yes. So Henkel's a German company based out of Dusseldorf.
Okay.
And the Dial Corporation has been around for a long, long time.
And you were with Dial?
I was with Dial.
Okay.
When they purchased us. And I had a variety of internal roles, actually setting up Dial's sales and operations planning and their new innovations processes, and then moved into marketing in 2005, and have had a variety of roles Lived in Germany with the company for a few years, managing some international brands. And then most recently, I've been responsible for the marketing of the North American personal care division.
Okay. Now, Dial's been around for a long time. I mean, how has it remained such a leader as far as a brand? And people, I think, what's the, how many people know what Dial is?
Well,
what's the awareness of that brand?
Dial, it's about 99%.
99%? Wow. Almost as good as, I mean, just about any product out in the market.
It is. It's right up there with every other major brand.
Like Coke and Pepsi and that, yeah.
Yeah. So Dial's been around for 65 years. Well, we celebrated our 65th anniversary last year.
So this came out in the 1940s?
Yeah, about 1948.
Okay, so after the war, came out with soap. Okay, okay.
And to be around for 65 years and to grow, there's some commonalities that I think a lot of brands would have. One of those is that you have good quality products that are trusted by consumers. So they're going to use them throughout the years and they're going to pass them down. Okay. Something else is brands and companies have to be well managed, communicate with the consumer, and really keep things fresh, which ties to maybe one of the most important, which is new products and innovation. And so really keeping your line fresh, understanding the changing need states and demographics. And that's where, the past few years, the things we've brought out we're really proud of, because we're really tuning into and keying on what consumers
So now, do you launch new items like each year? Or, I mean, how many do you typically launch of a new item of this?
Just within personal cleansing, we launch 10 to 20. It depends on the year.
10 to 20.
It's a lot. I mean, when you think of the number of SKUs, because a brand like Dial is in multiple segments. You have body wash, bar soap, liquid hand soap, hand sanitizer, maybe a lotion. And so they quickly add up. But it's important to launch products each year and keep them fresh in these kind of categories.
Innovation, though, tell me a little bit more about innovation, because there's the obvious innovation of a whole new brand launch or a whole new item or a whole new way in which you want people to go. But there's also innovation within packaging. I mean, there's a lot of different ways in which it's done, isn't there?
Yeah, I mean, every part of the products that you see can be innovated, from the package to just the way it's displayed to the formulation. There's a lot of different things that go into that. As far as how innovation rolls forward, most companies have a similar innovation or new product development process, all starting with concept development and ideation, and that's kind of a chunk of work to come up with the right ideas. And then,
how does Walmart react to the innovation?
Walmart is fantastic with innovation. They really embrace it. They see it as a competitive advantage. They get it out on the floor as early in the year as they can, and they do something that a lot of retailers don't, which is have a second modular set in the second half of the year, because there is new innovation that comes out in the second half of the year, and they want that for their consumer.
So tell me a little bit more about that, as far as the creativity that's put into the innovation. What is it that you're doing like right now? Walmart's embracing the advantage. They're launching some products this summer. What are you doing for innovation like this year?
So this year, we launched items in the first half, and we're going to bring out some in the second half. Okay. And Walmart isn't interested in innovation for innovation's sake, just to have innovation, right?
Exactly.
And neither are we. It's all about giving the shopper what they want, and the customer, there's new need states that they have.
And how do you find that out?
So we spend a lot of time up front with consumers, looking at, talking to them, doing research, understanding how their lives are changing, how the family dynamics are changing, the ethnographic changes in the U.S. We also look at major trends, not just in the U.S., but around the world. So Henkel has innovation offices in 4 or 5 cities around the world that we source ideas and trends from that can parlay into the U.S.
Okay, Chris, after the break, I'd like you to tell us how you come up with the ideas for these products. But first, we're going to take a short break.
Every day, shoppers are bombarded with traditional brand messages outside the store in hopes that these marketing dollars will drive in-store sales. Closure Media drives retail sales by connecting brands with 95 million Walmart shoppers per year while they are in the store. Through innovative programs at Walmart's photo and money centers, Closure Media converts Walmart shoppers to purchasers of your brand. With reported redemption rates up to 7 times the national FSI average, Closure Media drives sales. For more info, visit us at closuremedia.com.
K-Stack, the leader in collaborative retail consolidation programs. We offer the supply chain expertise needed to navigate the challenges of selling products with the world's largest retailers. And we provide customers with a customizable, scalable, environmentally sustainable supply chain with the same advanced technology typically used by larger rivals. By leveling the playing field, K-Stack lowers distribution costs and increases overall margins. K-Stack, retail logistics is what we do.
8th and Walton, the premier destination for Walmart supplier education. when and where you want to learn. Current, accurate, relevant, taught by suppliers for suppliers. 8th and Walton.
Experience the unique cooling sensation of frozen yogurt. New Dial Frozen Yogurt Body Wash. Wrap your skin in cooling moisture. For skin so refreshingly soft, people will notice. Dial. Healthier skin, healthier you.
Bentonville Plaza, across the street from the Walmart home office. The best office location offers proximity and services like no other business complex in the area. Call 479-200-1112 today.
All right, before the break, Chris had some great ideas for suppliers on how to create innovative products. Now I'd like to learn how you come up with the ideas for these products.
Okay, so typically any idea we come to market with is going to be based on a large trend or some sort of a mega trend or a consumer insight based on changing need states or just what consumers are looking for based on what we're seeing in other categories.
And how do you get it to market then?
So there's a big, most companies have a new product development process, and there's a whole section up front with ideation and concept development and business case analysis. And then the second part is really how do you commercialize that and scale it up for a retailer as big as Walmart and get that to market. When we look at specific products, and we have a couple examples that we're coming out with this summer. One of them is called Pura Fruta.
Okay.
And the insight behind this is really the ethnographic trend of Hispanic growth in the U.S. So Hispanics are 50 million people within the population.
And growing.
And growing.
Yes.
Yeah, the fastest growing also. And that's interesting not just because it's interesting for retailers because of the consumer purchasing power, but also we find it interesting as product innovators because this beautiful Hispanic culture and how it influences usage and trends within these categories that have been around for a long time, it changes what we're putting on the shelf. And so, so we're coming out with a product called Pura Fruta, which is the first truly Hispanic influenced personal care product on the market.
And when you say Hispanic influenced, in what ways? Because of the research that you did to find out what the Hispanics want, or is it products that were maybe in their country before, or how does that work?
Well, it's a little bit of both, but to be clear, we're not trying to bring out products that are for Hispanics necessarily, because especially because the shelf space at Walmart is very valuable, right? And so we want to come out with products that really we think a wide audience is going to like. However, we find the cultural influence from the Hispanic community so interesting and vibrant that we think there's a lot there to share with the masses.
In the main set, not in a separate set that is just for Hispanic.
Right.
Okay.
But what we've done is we have talked to our innovation centers in Scottsdale, in Dusseldorf, Columbia, Mexico City, to come up with what would be an appropriate and culturally inspirational product set, but that is also something that non-Hispanics would like just as much. And what's interesting about something as simple as a body wash or bar, or any innovation that you see come out on the market, is the sheer amounts of work and effort that go into each stage of this, and the dozens of people and departments and companies that touch even the simplest thing on the shelf. And everything you see on the package, from the name to the colors to the fragrance to how it's explained on the back, just hours and days and weeks go into each one of these things.
So what does Pura Fruta mean?
Okay, so 95% of non-Spanish speakers understand it to mean pure fruit.
Okay.
And so it's a simple name, but it sounds nice to the ear. And of course, Hispanics find it something they understand and like the sound of it, but also non-Spanish speakers also like the name. And that one name alone went around the world to our centers and our Hispanic speakers in different countries to make sure that it sounded right. There's a lot of examples in the past with companies having names that didn't translate well.
Right, right. Yes, yes, you want to be careful with that, don't you?
But even the colors, the ingredients, so we have very vibrant colors and very impactful scents. The formula is clear and refreshing, but it's also moisturizing. So we looked at all the different need states. We talked to people of Hispanic descent and really tried to find these sun-ripened tropical fruits with the freshness, but also the skin benefits that the Hispanic community would resonate with the Hispanic community, but also with non-Hispanics.
So what else are you guys working on?
So another launch we're coming out with this summer is something we've been working on for a while, based on a major trend we see in body cleansing, and that's body acne. And so acne as a category has been around for years and years, right? And 80% of people have had acne at some point, majority on their face, but half the people who've had acne have had it on their body. There really hasn't been a solution for those people.
So this body acne, is this something that's actually going into acne category, or is it going to be over in the wash category?
So this will be an acne launch in the acne category.
Okay.
Yeah, so Dial has obviously a heritage in body cleansing, being in you know, the #1 household penetrated brand in the market. So we have that heritage. We also have a heritage with doctors recommending Dial products for acne users. And so 20% of people think Dial has acne products, but we don't. But we see a major trend change, and that is people using products for acne on their body, as well as the adult population using more acne products. And so we looked at the market, we said there's a need state, there's a white spot in there for better products at a better price. And those are the two things that consumers have had an issue with while they're leaving the category. The category's been a little stagnant over the last few years. And so consumers...
Well, and then they have a brand that they trust, which is Dial. And, you know, as far as cleanliness and everything else that Dial stands for, which is great. Well, Chris, thank you so much for coming in today. This has been great. Now, you are going to be moving here, right?
Yeah, so I'm moving here with my family in just a couple weeks from Arizona.
And your family?
My beautiful wife, Christy, my kids, Jack, Lola, and Dean, will be going to the local schools and getting integrated, and I imagine they'll probably become Arkansas Razorback fans too.
Yes, I'm sure they will.
We'll keep the Arizona Wildcat in their blood, though.
Well, I tell you what, this is a great place to live. I've lived here since 1998, and we have loved it. Raised our family here, and we have grandkids here now, and it's been awesome.
Oh, wow. Well, we're looking forward to it.
Yeah. Well, we're excited to see what Dial has in store for us next. Chris, thank you for joining us today. Saturday morning meeting will continue right after this. We're here today with Henry Ho from Field Agent. Henry, I hear you've got an interesting case study to share with us today.
We sure do. We had a situation where a major stationery supplier was trying to influence Walmart at the modular. They had a situation in which they had a cumbersome category and it was difficult to shop, and their consumers were having a difficult time finding the items in Walmart's modular. So they asked us to come alongside them and help them develop some insights to prove the point. And so we sent in shoppers into Walmart's key competitor in that category, and to ask them to shop 3 SKUs in that category, and we timed it and how long it took them to find the items.
The actual shopping experience, they were actually in there.
Yeah, and then we also sent a different group of consumers into a Walmart, and they did the same thing. And the results was fascinating. It took the Walmart shopper 28 seconds on average longer to find those same 3 items.
28, so that's like a lifetime.
That is a lifetime. And what happened was our client was able to use that data to get the appointment. Prior to that, the buyer was not available and didn't have time. But when they came with insights, the buyer all of a sudden had time, and they were able to take that information, get the appointment, and then influence not only the shelf, but influence the Walmart shopper and gave them a better shopping experience.
You know, we keep hearing that by bringing data and bringing insights to a buyer, it not only gets you the appointment, but I mean, things start happening, don't they?
Insights are a little bit of a gift for the Walmart buyer.
And the buyers need that.
They do. They hunger for that. Those are real insights that make their job better and to make better decisions on the shelf.
Well, Henry, how do we reach you?
Well, just contact me, and we'd love to help.
That's great. Well, thanks, Henry. We'll see you next month.
I would recommend 8th & Walton to other suppliers because from my experience talking to other suppliers, they were even learning new ideas or just new and better business practices.
Most people have little time for training, and so 8th & Walton is a perfect opportunity to send your new employees to understand the retailing system. And again, because trainers were suppliers, they know the how and the why, so they become very valuable very quickly.
Our thanks to Jeff Amerine, Clint Lazenby, and Christopher Sommer. Now join us next week when we talk with Loria Oliver about 10 steps for a small business to gain press. And Jeff Amerine continues his series, Swimming in a Sea of Data, with founder and CEO of Acme Brands, Dr. John James. Now, as always, We appreciate your taking the time to join us. Now, if you have questions or comments, we would love to hear from you. I'm Andy Shook, and from all of us at Saturday Morning Meeting, thanks for watching.